Movie Review Roundtable watchers. Today's movie is Battle Los Angeles. Ooh. Very exciting times when aliens come to invade us and we all die. I hope we don't die.
I have high hopes that it'll be fun, but relatively low expectations.
Technically proficient, but emotionally sterile. We'll see whether or not I care about one character dying in the course of a global conflict.
I expect lots of whiz-bang explosions and natural disaster effects, but not a whole lot in terms of character relationship.
I don't really have high hopes for this movie. It looks like a high energy, like big explosion type action, high action flick, which is not my genre, but I do love alien invasion.
We are so fucked. Honestly, I'm not a fan of alien movies or war movies, but this movie actually made me like tear up a bunch throughout, so winner with me. And I was really on the edge of my seat most of the movie. I was actually holding my breath at times.
It was pretty much exactly what I expected, which is not bad. I'm not disappointed, I'm not amazed.
I think I'm officially shocked and awed. It was way better than I expected, as good and as realistic as any war movie out there.
I kind of feel like I might have to eat my hat. I feel like that was way better than it had any right to be, and as a female, I generally don't enjoy these kinds of movies at all, and I'm bored out of my mind, and I was completely emotionally invested, and I cared.
I mean, I knew what I was going into this movie, a very high action, you know, kind of movie, and that's exactly what it was.
I actually appreciated the way they wrote the script because I felt like we got way total and enough story without them beating us over the head with it. I mean, by the first 30 seconds, you knew how everybody was connected. I was tearing up within like the first 15 minutes.
Kind of opposite of what I usually like. I thought there was a little much of the let's build this big teary emotional story here and here and here and here and drag it out. Which is totally contrary to what I usually like, but I kind of just wanted more action and more aliens and more...
More action? How could there be more action?
Just the big emotional things. They tried so hard to make it so emotional, and a couple of times they just seemed like they were just going on and on and on, and it just made me think, like, it took me out of it for a minute, because I'm like, aren't you worried about the aliens that are like blowing up the city? You really want to have this moment now?
Right, yeah.
I feel like they did that in some really smart ways though. Like there's this one scene, like when they were getting out of the bus or whatever, and there was just this slight little moment where one of the soldiers was tying the little boy's shoe, which I thought was a really, I thought it was a fantastic storytelling moment there.
It was. And there were a lot of little touches like that. I think the obstacle that they were up against with this is that, it looks like they looked at all of the alien invasion movies that had come and what the weak spots were in those, and addressed them. That for them to do, say for the control center, to do a blanket resolution like that is a little fanciful in terms of like something like ID4, where it's like, let's upload a virus and it's all good. You know, they actually found a method that was relatable. It was like, okay, we figured this out, now we can pass it on to the heavy artillery. They didn't take the thing out themselves, but they were key to it, and that was something I came in not ready to believe, you know, because it is always so pat, it is always so fanciful. I knew that this was going to be approached with a greater sense of realism and more sort of a District 9 type of a tone. And so I wasn't ready to buy into it. I'm like, how is one staff sergeant and his team going to do this? Please.
One thing that did kind of bug me is it did have that District 9, Cloverfield kind of handheld camera, but in all those other movies they explained why that it was a person or it was a documentary crew.
That's just the style of war movies now. I mean, it's been that way. Bourne Identity's done, you know, the Bourne movies have all done it. It's just what they do, and I actually remember when I was watching it thinking, do we really need to do the Bourne style for this? I mean, maybe during the action scenes, but they're doing it all the time. And
they pulled out of that, and I thought, okay, this is going to be the beginning, and then they're going to pull out, and it's going to be more of like a stable camera thing. But then as it went in, it went more and more into that and less into the stable, which I would have liked a couple of shots where you could see something clearly. Like I still want to know what the aliens look like. And
But maybe that's better that we didn't.
Yeah, I like it a lot better not knowing what the aliens look like, personally.
Yeah, although I thought another really smart touch was that impromptu alien autopsy scene. You know, where it's like this. Yeah, exactly. This made sense to me that that they would determine a method by which the aliens would be vulnerable to the gunfire. Because otherwise, you're shooting at armor. You have no idea what you're hitting. So the fact that they took the time to work that out, to introduce that factor, made it more believable that essentially they gradually became able to address this threat.
Did it not bother anybody else? I mean, okay, sure, the aliens come and they're killing us all off, but still, we're pretty fucked up that we're gonna, like, you know, open this alien alive to find out how to kill them. I mean, you think about it as us, like if an alien's doing that to us, like ripping our skin off and like...
If we were going to do that to them, I'm sure that's what like they would do to us. I thought that was actually, I did like that part of the movie where they did kind of take the time to like figure out how to kill these things, you know, like that was kind of cool. And then the whole like visual effect of that was kind of cool.
Yeah, usually very like humanitarian and live and let live and let's not kill things and let's find out how to get along. But I had no sympathy for them. I wanted it to suffer before it died.
Yes. This is war, and they were absolutely, you know, tried and true booyah fucking Marines, and I dug that. You know,
I was all, go humanity!
Going back to what you were saying about the like emotional scenes, I'm with you there when one of the soldiers calls out the sergeant to like, oh yeah, you're just gonna let us die, you're an asshole, you know, and then he goes back and he tells them what their names and their numbers, and I was like, really, you're gonna take the time to like prove to this asshole that like...
Are you kidding me? Like, that moment, okay, when he is doing the numbers, all he's doing, and that's Aaron Eckhart is a good actor, okay? Because all he's doing is saying these names and these numbers, and I'm like...
I thought that was a really relevant scene. As he's rattling off the names and numbers, for a minute I'm thinking, these guys don't know, he could be making this shit up. And then he, you know, but the fact
that one moment,
but the fact when he gets to the brother's number and the brother finishes it, he knows what the hell his brother's number was.
Yeah.
That, I was choked up. That absolutely, I was sold. It took a while for me to get bought in, but once I was bought in, I was in all the way.
Yeah.
You guys bought into the movie altogether?
Yes.
See, I was pretty much, first off, I appreciated that they jumped right into action. It's like, fuck setup, shit's happening, right? But I was with as soon as I was with him anyway, like he's kissing his wife goodbye and she's pregnant, all that stuff. But when we're watching the news and the aliens come up for the first time, I was like realized I was holding my breath. I was with it the whole time. There was times where I thought it was too long and I was like, okay, let's end the movie now, and it kept going. But other than that, you know, I was with it.
Like the kids seemed kind of like a cheap play. Like there was no purpose for them to be there other than, oh no, kids, they're in danger.
Absolutely.
I was just like, absolutely. I was like, no, we don't know them enough. This is going to sound horrible, but I don't really care about the kids. They haven't really been introduced. They're nothing but a cheap like sympathy play.
No, and that's absolutely
true. But I don't think they had the time to invest into civilian characters.
Yeah.
You know, with all that was going on.
I liked her.
The dad completed his story arc and thus died. And if you look at
when you complete your story arc, you should die.
There's no question that the deaths in this were in a formulaic system.
Absolutely.
You know, you get the guy up on the tower. He completed his arc. He's out. You know, it's just one after the other. But that's storytelling. That's script writing. You know, you obviously can't kill them before they pay off their arc. Yes. You know, so you got to know that. Well, you know, this guy. You need the guy who you need the sniper who can shoot that bomb from a distance before you can take him out. That's got to happen. You know, so it's every one of those.
I mean, even the little boy served a little bit of a point, but that little girl served absolutely no purpose in the movie other than to have shots of a cute little girl screaming.
Absolutely.
She had no character. There was no reason for her to be there.
Okay. When the kids came in, I immediately went, oh great, now kids. I knew it was a ploy, okay? But I like certain things they did. Like when they had Michelle Rodriguez shows up. First off, ever since Machete, I'm like, hell yeah, Michelle! I literally, when she walked on screen, I was like, yeah! Like, oh. But it was a ploy to get a chick in the battle. But fine with me, fucking A, do it. And it was a great reason.
And in fact, that was another point that I really, really liked, is that she wasn't just a conveniently placed, like this person knows computers, so we're gonna, no, she was sent in with that purpose to find exactly what it was that they eventually used to take it out. Yeah. You know, she was that guy, you know, so I thought
the story was really tight.
I thought it was a tight script all the way through.
Especially for an alien movie. Yeah. I mean, you said you like alien movies.
Yeah, well, I don't know, I for some reason, I can't pinpoint it, but for some reason it just didn't grab me.
This wasn't the most realistic alien movie ever made as far as your, movies you've seen? You prefer E.T. It's fine.
No, well, I don't know. It was just like, I think it was just too much action, more than like the story was there, but it felt to me like it was like, just let's get the necessary things out of the way kind of thing, and let's just do that.
I think I kind of get what you're saying in that I do feel like, well, I feel like good sci-fi is supposed to kind of reflect something in us, like District 9 did, and like Splice, which I saw on your roundtable. I felt like this kind of lacked that. I don't really feel like it made a statement about humanity. I felt like it was a good movie, but I do feel like it was kind of missing that statement.
I don't think it was that kind of a vehicle. It never professed to. If you look at, like, say, for example, the opening scene of any film, the opening scene of any film makes a promise to the viewer of what kind of movie you're going to be watching and what ingredients you're going to see. And at no point did it come at us like, we've got a platform, we've got a, it's going to be Alien Nation again, it's going to be, no, there wasn't a soapbox, and I appreciated that.
Straight up, just battle.
This is a war movie.
Yeah,
it's Saving Private Ryan. It's Black Hawk Down. It is a war movie.
You're right.
Our enemy is aliens.
You're right. It's not a sci-fi movie. It's a war movie that just happens to have aliens. It was good. I would say see it. It's actually, as I'm sitting here, it's growing on me. So yeah, it was fun. It is pretty much what you expect, but maybe a little better.
First and foremost, a war movie. Secondly, a good alien sci-fi, and I think it's the best of its genre, the best of its class. So you see it in the theaters. Pay the money, give these guys their kudos because they made a damn good movie.
Definitely a movie that's worth watching in a theater. Even at night, I would probably pay full price for this because you get so engrossed with it being on the huge screen.
If you make a bet with a friend and they lose, make them watch this movie, I'd say.
I liked this movie. I thought it had heart. It had a lot of just fun scenes, and it was really interesting how in the military we got. Like, we just really saw what a Marine is like in battle, and you give such appreciation for them and what they go through, and that alone is worth seeing this movie. And yes, on the big screen, hell yes, surround sound, go IMAX if it's there, have fun, and see you next time.